Yo, what's up everybody, Stand up here. Today I'm going to be talking about UFC Fight Not Lose versus Spivak. I will be talking about the main card only because I just don't know enough about the prelim guys, the road to UFC guys. I will make a video about it later, but for now I want to really just go into a deep dive with these guys, and at this point I can't. So let's just start off with the main event, Derrick versus Serghei Spivak. Let's see, 26 and 10, 15 and 3. This fight was supposed to be in, I think, late November. I'm not sure though. Yeah, Derrick is a big underdog, plus 190. Spivak is a moderate favorite, like they say, minus 225. And yeah, I do agree with the odds here. I think that Serghei Spivak is the guy to win this fight. He's pretty big. They are just as tall, but Derrick Lewis, he's a hefty guy, 265 pounds. We have seen one picture of him looking kind of thin, so I don't know what that's about. I guess we'll see in fight week, but I don't believe that really will make a difference. If it will, I think that it even might favor Spivak because, like I said, he isn't the biggest guy. He's pretty big, 250, but like he doesn't seem like a very strong guy. So if Derrick Lewis is a bit smaller, is a bit thinner, I feel like that only favors Spivak. Spivak is the polar bear, good wrestler. 4-1 in his last 5, while Derrick Lewis is 2-3 in his last 5. He has been knocked out 3 times. And yeah, I feel like it's just time for Derrick Lewis, to go down. He was in the top 5 for a long time. At this point, I feel like he, like skill-wise, he has always been outside of top 10 in my opinion. But he's just made it happen. And at this point, I feel like his chin is kind of gone. His will to fight is kind of gone. He isn't the same brawler he used to be. Now you got guys like Taito Ivasa and Serghei Pavlovich who just knocked him out pretty easily. And I feel like Serghei Spivak will just wrestle him for 2 to 3 rounds. And Derrick Lewis will kind of, I wouldn't say give up, but he won't fight as hard after the second or after the third round. And I feel like he will, at that point, just, lose by TKO. I'm going with Serghei Spivak. Serghei is a guy who, when he gets hit, he doesn't really react well. Like we've seen against Tom Aspinall, for example, like he got hit with a knee and then an elbow and it was straight over. Didn't look like the hardest shots, but Spivak just crumbled. And he might crumble against Derrick Lewis as well. I can't see that happening, but I feel like Spivak at this point is too good, and Derrick Lewis doesn't have the will to fight anymore. Then we go to the co-main event, Zhang versus Devin Clark. Mixed records for both guys. Zhang has been knocked out in his last fight against Dustin Jacoby, which doesn't happen a lot. Dustin Jacoby isn't the guy with the most power, but he did knock Zhang out pretty bad. Like he slapped him and then Zhang like woke up in a second, which was weird. Before that, 2 wins, 1 draw against Sam Alvey. That happens for some reason. Ryan Spann had a hard time against Sam Alvey as well. Beat Mike Rodriguez. Devin Clark lost his last fight against Murzakanov, beat William Knight, lost to Kutalaba, lost to Smith, beat Manifield. Devin Clark, he's a top 20 guy. He's pretty good. The wrestling is alright, the striking is alright. Kind of a middling fighter, I'd say. Zhang is a good striker, powerful one as well. The chin has been a bit of an issue because I feel like he got hurt by Sam Alvey and got pretty KO'd by Dustin Jacoby as well. He's a young guy though. Like I said, the striking is very good. The wrestling is pretty good as well. He beat Kennedy Nzechukwu by elbows, and yeah, which doesn't happen a lot because Nzechukwu is a guy with a good chin. He is very tough as well, so it's pretty crazy that he knocked him out that fast. In this fight, I feel like Zhang is a much bigger fighter. He's the best striker. The grappling is pretty good as well. So I'm going with Zhang, and I'm going for Zhang by. He's a finisher, but I don't know, man. Devin Clark is pretty tough. He has been knocked out in his last fight, so I'm going with a TKO in the second round for Zhang after he dominates the first round. Yeah, I don't really see path to victory for Devin Clark. He's a good wrestler, but I feel like Zhang has it covered as well. So Zhang by second round TKO. Then we got Marcin Tybura versus Blagoy Ivanov, the best fight of the year, ladies and gentlemen. This is the one you don't want to miss. 23-7, 19-4, pretty good records to be honest for heavyweights. Two guys that are pretty old, pretty big. Blagoy Ivanov is 5'11", while Marcin Tybura is 6'3". These guys have the same style. They can strike, but they would rather just put you against the cage and just grind. Just grind against you. Just put some shots in, take you to the ground, and just wet blanket you, like they say. I feel like Tybura, he is the better fighter and he's the bigger fighter as well, and I feel like he will just be able to get the job done via a unanimous decision. I don't want to talk about this fight for too long because it's not going to be a good one. A fight that will be a good one is Doo Ho Choi versus Kyle Nelson. Both guys don't have the best 5-on-in, but Doo Ho Choi has lost 3 fights in a row. He lost to Cobb Swanson. That was the legendary fight between them. Got beat by Jeremy Stevens, then went into military, came back against Charles Jourdain, got knocked out as well, which was over 3 years ago. We haven't seen him since. He's still the favorite though. He was the Korean Superboy. He's 31 at this point. He's minus 220 favorite, pretty big favorite against Kyle Nelson, who, to be honest, isn't great either. He's 1-4 in this UFC tenure. He had a pretty close fight against Jay Herbert though at lightweight. I think this one is at featherweight. Kyle Nelson looked pretty big as well, so I feel like the weight cut's pretty bad for him. But still, I feel like he should be able to beat Doo Ho Choi. Doo Ho Choi, he hasn't been the same since those losses against Charles Jourdain. He looked pretty good, but like in the second round he got knocked down and it was over pretty quick. Like I said, we have seen him in 3 years, and I feel like that's just too much. We don't know what kind of guy he will be. We do know that Kyle Nelson, although he isn't amazing, he's alright. Like, he fought against Jay Herbert. He fought pretty well. Jay Herbert's a good striker, so I'm going with Kyle Nelson. I am going with Kyle Nelson by a second round TKO after Doo Ho Choi knocks him down in the first. Then we go to the last fight on the main card. This is a good one, guys. Yusaku Kinoshita, he's real good. I saw him on the Dana White Contender Series, saw him against Akihiro Murayama, and I saw him as well in his first and only loss by disqualification. That was a brutal KO. That was so he knocked him down in the second round. He wanted to go for the finish. It wasn't rising, so the sucker kicks allowed, and the guy was almost knocked out. He was laying there, and Yusaku just stomped on his head like 3 times, but while he did so, he grabbed the cage, and that is illegal, and that's why he got disqualified. But he in reality is 7-0. He's a really slick striker. He's 22 years of age. He won his last fight by KO as well in the third round. He's the guy that keeps the distance, throws deep kicks and that kind of stuff, and really loves to counter. He's real good with getting one straight shot and then going back and then coming back. He did that in his last fight as well. Real good striker. The grappling, it's alright. He gets taken out pretty easily, but he stands up real fast. Like, he isn't the guy that just accept the bottom position. Adamfugit, from what I've seen, he's pretty durable. He lost to Michael Morales, but before that he beat Solomon Renfro in 30 seconds or so. Solomon Renfro is a guy that was people were pretty high on, like Brawler Bible, for example, was really high on the guy. Beat Devin Brook 4-2, 3-2, 9-10. Not the best opposition, but he's still a pretty good and pretty tough guy on the ground as well. But I am going with Yusaku Kinoshita. I feel like his striking is too good. He's too slick. He can go to decision, but like at the end of the day, he wants to go for the TKO, and I feel like he will get it in the second or third round after getting the reads, slipping shots. His distance management is very good, so he can slip shots and counter real fast, and I feel like he will, and I think that he will get a third round TKO. Like I said, guys, I will make another video for the prelims, but at this point I don't know enough about the guys that are in here. I can do like quick about the UFC guys. Jinyo Kim, Mandy Boom. Mandy Boom is Jinyo Kim isn't good, but Mandy Boom is even worse. I'm going with Jinyo Kim a decision. Junyoung Park versus Dance Lulin. Dance Lulin is underrated in my opinion. Junyoung Park is good though. I'm going with Junyoung Park by out wrestling Dance Lulin. So a decision. Tatsuro Taira versus Jesus Aguilar. Pretty sure Tatsuro Taira is a big favorite, minus 1000. That's crazy. 12-0 against a guy who is a pretty good guillotine choke as well. He's 5'4" though, which he's pretty small. Tatsuro Taira, I'm going with him, probably by decision, by just out grappling Jesus Aguilar, because Aguilar is still a pretty slick grappler. So I'm going with Tatsuro Taira by decision. Yeah, that was it, guys. Thank you for watching. Like I said, I will do a more deep dive into the prelims, into the guys from ONE FC, from Road to the UFC, my bad. Yeah, that was it. I see you guys later.